what is your favorite thing to tell yourself whenever you do have those doubtful moments? Like, is there anything you want to leave with the audience?
You know what? I think of my kids. I just want to show them that they could do anything in life if they put their heart to it.
Lunch break. Hey, I'm here today with Abby. We're so fortunate to have Abby here at 511 Media Group. She kind of runs the place regardless of what Mike, Nathaniel, and Alex say, right?
Yeah, I'm the boss around here.
You are. I love that. We're here with a good friend of mine, Christine Persel.
Hi.
Christine is amazing. Not only does she have an amazing husband and two daughters,
Yes.
she runs the church office and takes care of Kay First.
That's true.
Yeah, and everybody else at the office.
Yes.
If you want something done, talk to Christine Persel. Yeah. So we're here today on lunch break because Christine has done something pretty remarkable. And if you haven't ever been a runner, you know, I think maybe a lot of you have watched the Boston Marathon, which Christine just finished last Monday.
Yes, last Monday.
Yeah, and I understand there was 14 other people from Bakersfield in there.
They were all part of the Greyhounds. That's the team
I've heard.
I'm on.
Are you on the Greyhounds?
I am on the Greyhounds.
Wow, I'm not going to ask how they came up with the names because Greyhounds are fast runners.
We are.
Yeah. So do you know all the other 14?
I do. They're the my teammates that I train with on a daily basis.
Oh, wow. How fun.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing lunch break. We're going to be doing a ministry matters because Christine believes in ministry. And we're also going to be doing muscle matters because muscles are involved. And but you'll have to catch up on those episodes on another day. So Christine, talk to us about, now I'm going to step back here because Christine got involved with squad runners in the beginning,
Yes.
right? And Christine, you said that you had got back into running after being a runner in high school after Ava was born. And that was how many years ago?
13 years.
13 years old. So she has a high schooler. She's way too young to have a high schooler. But she does. And two amazing girls. I think Hannah played golf.
Hannah did play golf.
And Ava's playing tennis.
And Ava's playing tennis.
Yeah, so they'll be sensational. And her husband's an amazing musician. Chad leads our band at the East Brundage campus and does an amazing job.
Thank you.
Yep, keeps everybody on track. So talk to us about picking up running again. Al Martinez started Squad Runners.
Yes.
And that became something local. And so what she just did, she competed in the Boston Marathon, and she finished in the top 10.
Yes.
So out of 27,000 runners, she's probably in the 2,000 to 2,500,
Yes.
and that's quite an amazing feat.
It is.
Did it feel like it when you're in the middle of the race?
It was an amazing feeling. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I heard you talking to some people about it. Give us kind of a backwards view. Well, let's talk about. We'll probably talk about the Boston Marathon, all three shows. Talk to me about that feeling. I was telling my wife today that you kind of felt like it was like running in an elevator with people crowded in there, right in the beginning. I'm not a runner. Steve and I aren't runners, but
Yeah. From mile 1 to mile 26, you have the whole city of Boston on each side. Thousands of people just lining up, cheering for you. It was just the most amazing feeling in the world, just knowing that these people don't even know me and they're just rooting for me. It was awesome.
Crazy? And now in the pack, as you're running, you said that it was, there's a lot of runners.
Yes.
And so I'm thinking maybe the guys that are trying to set world records are in the front.
Yes. They're all in front.
And so you're probably
I'm towards the back.
okay. And so there's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. How do you run next to like a lot of people? I mean,
It's pretty tough. I will say that just because you're right.
Yeah, I know.
Elbows deep.
But you're running.
But you're running. The good thing is that all the people that were running with me were all at basically the same pace as I was. So we were all running that same pace the whole way. So, I mean, it is pretty incredible just knowing that
like
someone next to me.
sardines in cans.
Oh, yeah, you're basically it.
And,
yeah.
and they're kind of holding you up. Mm-hmm. So you can't fall.
You can't.
At that point. When do you break away from that? Or do you?
Not really. Well, probably about mile 20, I was able to break away from the pack. And then, I mean, there's still people around you the whole way, but you weren't like so squished and confined. But the whole time I was just thinking, wow, I'm running this.
The
How
Boston
incredible.
Marathon.
Like, that just kept like hyping me up inside.
Did it? Was that a dream that you actually
I did have a
completed?
dream. When I was in high school, I used to think about, oh, that'd be so cool to run the Boston Marathon. And
I didn't know that.
I used to actually dream about going to the Olympics.
Oh wow!
But then I stopped running.
And thought, how can that ever
Yeah.
happen?
And then I just know that, like, if you put hard work into it, anything's possible. Yeah. Even at my age, I just told myself, if I want it, I just have to work twice as hard as a 29-year-old.
Well, not only do you do that, but you have a full-time job.
Yes.
You have 2 kids
Yes.
and a husband.
Yes.
And so that makes it even a little more difficult, right?
Yeah.
How did you work out your schedule around that?
So-
What was Chad like the first time you went to Chad? Because you probably just were part of the ministry of squad runners.
Mm-hmm.
What gave you the idea, like, I'm going to fulfill that dream that I had?
He was just all for me, just doing what I love to do, because we both support each other. I
You do.
support him
You
with
do.
music. He supports me with running. And he didn't care. He's like, as long as you're doing it while I'm asleep, I'm fine. So, which I did. I would run 4:30 a.m. And then I would do 10 to 15 miles a day. And I would get back home, take my shower, take Ava to school by 8, and then get on the
After
road.
you did 10 to 15
Yeah,
miles.
and then I'd be right on the road to church. That was my day, pretty much every day.
I walk a mile a day now, so I don't walk 10 miles in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I can't imagine doing it before you even start your day,
Yeah,
or at least your husband starts his day.
yeah.
So as you were doing the squad runners, because squad runners was a ministry.
Squad runners was a mystery, yeah.
We had a lot of crazy, and one day I'm going to get you on the show, Al, because Al's got a tremendous story.
Mm-hmm.
Al never was a runner ever, as
Yeah.
far as I know. But then he started running and bringing people along. So it was really just a ministry. People came, lost weight.
Mm-hmm.
It was a group effort. I know the support that you guys had for each other when you would go to marathons.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you had several people that lost. I think one lost a considerable amount of weight.
Oh, yeah,
right?
hundreds.
Like hundreds of pounds. So what took it to that next level?
Well, I just decided, one day I was running on the bike trail, and the Greyhound runners asked me if I would want to be a part of their group.
Did they pass you?
We always would come by each other running,
Uh-huh.
and they just asked me if I wanted to join. And I was like, you know what? Might as well just try it. And I mean, I wanted to.
Did they ask you that because you were fast?
Yes. Well, because I was in a race, in a half marathon, and I came in second place. And the girl that beat me by 5 seconds, and she was part of the Greyhounds. So every time
So
we
were you
would
trying
run,
to catch her at the finish line?
yeah, every time we would run, she would like have her eyes on me. So they finally asked me to join their group. So ever since then, I've been part of the Greyhounds.
So was that, and I know Steve and I will probably talk about that a little more on Muscle Matters, but was that a big deal and a step up for your running?
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I wanted to be more challenged. You have to run with faster people to get faster. Yeah. And with squad runners, I love the squad runners. They had great purpose, wanting to like help people. But for myself, I wanted to improve and like set goals and have dreams. So I wanted to like transition to the Greyhounds.
Wow. Jump in anytime you want, Abby. I mean, I could overwhelm you on this.
Well, earlier you talked about, having dreams and you wanted to run the Boston Marathon, and you finally did. I would love to know a little more about like what kind of mindset you had to, I guess, learn how to have in order to chase those dreams. And I mean, chasing your dreams is not easy, but I would love to hear about.
I would say you have to be disciplined. You have to be consistent. You have to know why you're wanting to run every day. I mean, there's days I didn't want to get out of bed, but I would sleep with my running clothes on. And I just told myself, get out the door. Once you're out the door, you're doing it. And I made myself do it every day. And I kept telling myself, I have to do this for myself to be where I want to be. And if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be running the Boston Marathon. Right. It has to be another mindset, I guess you can say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really powerful because I hear so many people talk about like wanting to chase their dreams, and I think like the biggest thing that I hear from people who finally get there is it's all about your mindset, and it's all
Yes.
about what you tell yourself
Oh yeah, I would have
and
to speak life to myself all the time, encourage myself, and just surround myself with other people that had the same dreams as me.
yeah.
So, which was a part of the Greyhounds. They all
So
had the
having
mindset of going to Boston.
so having a support
Yes,
system
so
is
you
really
have to surround yourself
important.
with people that have the same dreams as you.
Yeah.
And plus, Al.
Yeah.
Al was a huge part of my running journey. He helped me get to where I needed to be, too.
Yeah.
He believed in me. You have to have people that believe in you.
Yeah, of course.
So.
I'd also love to hear like how you got started running. You said you started in high school. So
Yes.
what was like the initiative? Like when you were like, "Oh, I'm going to do this. Like I'm going to start right now."
I started cross country in high school just to make friends. Because I lived in Wasco, and my parents moved to Bakersfield right when my freshman year. So I didn't know anyone. So I just figured the best
You left
way.
a lot. You left familiarity.
Yes.
You left friends.
So I needed to make friends, so I joined cross country, and that was a great way to make friends.
That's awesome.
Did you?
I did. Yeah.
Really
Yeah, you know, Abby, because you said you ran in junior high.
I did.
A 5-minute mile.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, there was this like we had to run the mile in
Yeah.
junior high, and there were rewards like you had gold shorts I think that you would get
Yeah.
if you ran the mile in either 5 minutes or 6 minutes, and I was like determined. I was like, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And then I ran the first time, I ran it in 6 minutes.
Wow.
And then so I got the gold shorts, and I was like, I did that. And then and then I don't know, from then I just really enjoyed running. I would do it even when I was not in school, but I had my PE teacher at the time, Miss Galante. She was amazing. She was like honestly one of the best PE teachers that I ever had, and she was really passionate about
Shout
the
out
mile.
to shout out to teacher.
Miss Galante.
Well, but we can all say they make
Yeah.
a difference, right?
They do.
Oh yeah,
Teachers make a
definitely.
difference.
Definitely. But yeah, so having people who support you
Yeah.
and push you is a way to get to where you want to be, which is just really awesome to hear. But I just admire the fact that like you took the first step, and you said, I want to do this.
Yeah.
I need to do this. So you went out there and you did it, and like it's just amazing
Well,
to see
thank
where
you.
where you're at. It's incredible.
It's it's interesting to hear you both, like you said, you went after it. You're like, hey, I wanted the shorts.
Yeah.
Right? Motivation,
Yeah,
right?
that is motivation.
You know, and you go out and get it. That's something that, and I'm not, as I always talk about that, as we talk to the audience, it's nothing that is a condemnation. It's encouragement, right?
Yeah.
Because it's worth it. You got the shorts, you got the medal, but there's achievements along the way, too. Like you said, you would do it when you didn't have to run. I'm very interested in this. You said something which strikes me, because there gets to be points in a lot of athletes' life where you do get a little dysfunctional, and I heard you say you slept in your running gear.
I did.
Explain to us, like, was it like, this will save me some time? Because sometimes I do that.
Yeah.
I'll look at my clock and go, you know what, if I just put my gym shorts on now,
Yes.
I don't have to do it in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like a little mind thing. So tell us how that started in your life.
Well, it was just, I would have to like motivate myself every day just to put those clothes on.
So what time were you waking?
About 4 a.m.
Yeah. And then
So
what time did you get out the door?
4:30. So during that whole time, I would just tell myself, okay, just get out that door. I know it's cold. I know it's raining. I know it's foggy. Just get out there. But if I put on my clothes and I had my watch on, I was like, okay, you got to go out and do it. You have people depending on you that are showing up, waiting for you too.
That's a big deal, isn't it, Abby?
It's a big deal.
Is to know that if I don't show up, would they call you like, hey, where you
Yeah,
at?
they would text me.
Yeah.
That you know what? We all need that person in our life.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes it's our parents when we're young. It's a friend or maybe a sibling. It's those things that you need people. And like you said, you started running for a relationship. You want a relationship. So, regardless of why you're in it, I think relationships are results. And it's always sometimes good when somebody says, where are you?
Well, it kept me accountable too.
Yeah, right.
And I needed that.
Accountability.
So you got a family. So this always fascinates me because my wife Tiffany and the girls. So I've always trained early in the morning, but somehow they say I make a lot of noise.
Oh, I did too.
Turning on lights,
Yes.
and I would try to put things in, but I'd always forget something. So I always do the best I could. But did Chad and Ava and Hannah know?
Oh, yes. Ava did too. She knew when I left the door. She knew when I came back in. Chad would tell me, "Can you just put your phone on silent?" Because I would have to have it ring to wake me up. Because sometimes
We all love that sound, right?
Oh yeah. So I said, you know what? Sometimes I wouldn't even put my phone on ringer. I just wake up like every hour, like looking at the clock.
And because what I understand is your running was around walking out the front door.
Yeah.
So did you run the minute you got outside your front door, or did you have to drive someplace?
I had to drive. It was probably about 5 minutes away. So every day we had a different location. And we did that just to keep us safe. Because we didn't want like a stalker or anything to follow us.
I understand that. Hey, that's wisdom.
Yeah. So every day we either met at Riverwalk, Trader Joe's, the east side where we do country club, Lake Ming, Hart Park. So we had a different location every day.
So who decided that?
I had a coach. So his name was Shane Gosselin. And he also did the Boston Marathon. And he had a time of like 3 hours and 8 minutes. And he's like 56.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah. Well, and there again, he's probably been running a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it when older guys still keep it going.
Yeah. I mean, he gives me my weekly schedule, and I just show up and I do the workout.
I think as we get to Muscle Matters, that'll be important because sometimes, when you're depending on somebody to give you something, there's a commitment to performing it.
Yeah.
Because they're expecting a result, right?
Yes.
And if you don't meet the results and you've done it, then they have some work to do.
Oh, yeah.
But if you meet the results and haven't achieved anything, it's like, okay, where'd we go wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. In preparing for the marathon, because I do believe you told me that you qualified for next year's already.
I did.
So this year will probably be a lot different than last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now your training can focus on this.
Yes. And now I know what to train on since I did it.
Did anything surprise you?
Yeah, I was surprised how many hills there were. So now I know going into 2024, I need to do more hills. I was doing hills, but I need to do more.
Yeah. So I know that you said there was an app that gives you an idea of like the topographical stuff, but it still surprised you when you actually had to.
Yeah, because the app said it was like a net downhill, and the only downhill there was at mile 22, and that was 22 miles to get there. So pretty much you climbed the whole way.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was and so the app didn't tell you. It kind of like sounds like it deceived you.
Yeah, I kind of did.
App. We're depending on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then I would watch the virtual race online, just to like get myself focused. I would dream myself running it.
Oh wow.
So
that's another dysfunction athletes
I know.
get into.
I do that on every race. I'll look at the course and then I'll start dreaming, like putting myself in that situation where I'm running it. And I would talk to myself in my dreams like, okay, this is where you need to pick it up. Okay, slow down, pick it up.
I love that because almost there's a self-coaching aspect. See, I really get fascinated about running because you heard Steve and I talk about the fact that we don't run. I mean, we're not built that way. So when I hear runners self-coaching themselves, even on the course.
Yeah.
But now you're telling me it happens in dreams.
Yeah. What happens to me in my
This
dreams?
really is a 24-hour day sport.
So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So have you heard of other people having quirky things that are runners?
Like quirky things that they do, or
Yeah, like when they're running or as they run. When Dave Sands was here, he was talking to us on thoughts that he would have and conversations that he would wait to have until he ran. So I thought that'd be interesting to have
I know
a
a lot of them
conversation with
had
yourself.
they would do certain rituals, as in like their diet.
Mm-hmm.
So they would stick to a really clean diet, but a lot of carbs. So they wouldn't. So if it was a race day, they'd be eating a baked potato with just a baked potato plain and like just boring food. but
I've been there.
But I mean, but they would stick to it. So I know that they would do that, but as in like, I think I'm the only one that talks to myself about stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe they do, and I don't know.
Do you get down on yourself?
No. And the only reason why I say that is because I figure if I'm putting in all that work, that training has to come through. So I really don't doubt myself when I run.
Yeah, you know, I like what you said. That and Abby asked you that question. So as you go through it, you say that you kind of speak life to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, tell the audience why that was important to you, because the Bible says that there's a power of life and death in our tongue, and I can't imagine running 26 miles. But if I ran 26 miles, I don't know what it was like at mile 13.
Yeah.
You know, because you've done a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you're only halfway there.
Yeah.
And so you can't start, talking yourself down at mile 13. So there's got to be that point where you're still able to stay up no matter what at mile 13.
Yeah. I think speaking life to yourself as you're running, I mean, it just helps you out so much. It helped me out mentally because there are times where you're running and you feel like your pace is slowing down, but you have to tell yourself, okay, that pain just only lasts for a few more seconds. Just get up there. And then I kept telling myself, okay, God gave me the strength. I can keep going. I can keep going. Like, I'm almost there. Like, so I would just talk to myself, like, encouraging words and speaking life to myself, saying that I can do this. You know, God gives me the strength to do it.
Were you nervous before you started on this race? Or do you get nervous before other races?
You know, this is the first race that I had no nerves.
Oh, really?
And I think it's because I had so many people praying for me to
huge.
just have peace upon me. And this is the first time I've ever ran a race with so much peace. I didn't have a single nerve. I just went in there confident, knowing that I'm going to do the best I can do. And that's all I can do.
And even as I get the impression with and if a lot of people haven't been back east, those city blocks are wide.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've been to New York several times, but the city blocks are a good maybe 15, 20 yards deep, and it was full of people.
Yes.
And you said that was encouraging too.
It was encouraging.
You felt energy.
Yes, you saw people next to you that were blind running. You saw
Running.
Running. There was someone guiding the blind. You saw people in their army outfits running in full combat uniform with their shoes, boots, running that. And that was incredible. So, like, the whole time you couldn't, like, not be positive about it because every time you saw someone, you're like, wow, they're running. Next to me, as a 70-year-old man running next to me, like, that's pretty encouraging.
Absolutely, when you're thinking Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
So what's next for Christine?
Next, I will do Boston again next year, 2024. I have talked about, like, I would love to do maybe, like, I would love to do Tokyo, but I don't know. If the future holds and I'm able to, I would love to do something out of the States.
So have you talked to Chad about that?
Yes.
What does he say?
He's all for it.
I love that. Yeah. There again, tell us how you and Chad met.
Well, I met Chad through my sister that was dating her fiance at the moment, and they got married. But I met him at Barnes & Noble. Mm-hmm. He was playing a gig, and that's how I met him.
So you fell for the band.
Yeah.
the bass player.
I did.
So did you approach him or he approached you?
He approached me. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
and here I am, this shy, timid 18-year-old that's never talked to a boy. So
let alone a band member.
Yeah.
Did he have long hair?
You know, at the time he didn't. But he used to have long hair.
They've said that. He's got a long beard now.
Yeah.
But he is. So did you go to several gigs or at the first gig?
I went to his first gig, and then I went to a few others, yeah.
And before he approached you?
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that story. And then how long before you guys were married?
We got married when I was 21.
So how many years would that be after you met him?
From now?
No,
Or
when you met him.
I met him when I was 18, so about 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always tell people, at least date a year.
Yeah.
Because you can't fake it for over
Yeah.
a year. So I always told my daughters.
Yeah.
You know,
And with Chad, he was pretty special though, because I always tell him, "You're my first boyfriend." So,
I love that because that's
Yeah.
my daughter Tessa
Yeah.
and her husband Danny. They're like, why not, Dad? How come I was always not the naysayer, but I always say, going away to college. They went away to college, and she moved to Tennessee for a year, and they got married. So,
Yeah.
like you said, it's can happen.
Yep.
What would you like to leave the audience with? There again, as I'm listening to your story, I think that you had a love for running when you were in high school. You did it for the right reason. You wanted to make friends.
Yes.
You have to get involved. Would you tell that to people?
Yes, you do have to get involved. Even with ministry wise, I do camp first, and you gotta make those relationships because I just think it's so important because you have each other. So if someone needed prayer, I could just pray for that person, or like they could pray for me, and it's just awesome just having you can know that you can depend on someone.
Relationships.
Yes.
Yeah. And so then you had a family. And then the dream sparked back up.
Yes.
And then you had a few more, difficult things. I mean, because when you're younger and you don't have commitments outside of what you do, it's hard to fit them in.
Yeah.
But you had a supportive husband and 2 supportive children.
Yes.
And then you had to be dedicated, right?
Yeah.
Getting up and going out the front door. Now, this is something that I didn't experience in my athletic career. But like you said, you had to go outside and run when it's cold.
Yes.
Let me ask this, and I'll get more into that at Muscle Matters. I want to talk to some details about your experience. But as you have to go out the door, you get in the car and you drive. You're doing it because you still have relationships,
Yes.
and they're depending on you getting there.
Yes. And the fact that I love to run too.
Yes. I have a problem with that. I mean, I just don't wrap my head around that.
Well, it's just like how you work out.
Yes, it is.
You love it.
Yes,
It's in your DNA.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so something. This morning, I'll tell you guys. This morning, I went in the gym, and I was really stoked with my workout. So
Yeah.
I was working out, but I was like, man, this is like harder.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I'm like getting weaker. I said, but I went through it and did it.
Yeah.
And I looked down, somebody moved the weights. So I was working out with heavier weights
That's funny.
last week. And I was like, I wanted to get mad, but I was like, but I did it.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but that means I got to do it again.
Yes.
It was that moment that I was like, wow, that's why it was harder.
Yes.
But I did it. Oh my gosh, I can't go back
It's
down.
a good feeling too,
It
knowing that you
is.
did it.
It is. So you ever get that when you're running? Like,
I do,
Then you
especially
have
on my hard workouts.
yes, and then you have to hold up to those hard workouts.
Yes.
To get them to be your easy workouts.
Yes.
You got to hold on to the.
And I used to tell myself, "Oh, I'm so glad I did it."
Yeah.
At the time, I'm thinking, "Oh my God, how many more miles?"
Do you ever wake up in the morning and say, today's run scares me?
Yeah, there are certain ones that I would just because I knew I had to push myself to the limit.
And it's a good feeling when you get there.
Yeah.
And this year, knowing that you got to do more hills,
Mm-hmm.
how will you accomplish that? What's going to be the method?
Well, my method is going to be run 6 days a week, probably 4 days hill workout to do. And then I would have to do a couple tempo runs in between that. So where you're running at a faster pace, just holding it longer.
The run that always scared me for you guys was the one, and I forgot what it's called, but it's when it's hot here in Bakersfield.
Oh, the hell of a half?
I was going to say that, so I'll let you cuss. No.
Yes.
But that's hot, right?
It is hot.
We
yeah.
lost an attorney a few years back
Mm-hmm.
that passed away after running that, but that's a hot one, right?
Yeah.
Is there any merit to training in that type of environment that gets you ready for a tougher race, or do you do it just to say I did it?
You do have to train a certain way. You have to hydrate a lot. You have to know how much your body can take running in that heat too.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally love heat training. I'd rather do it than the winter.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people can't. But you have to be smart and hydrate. And you have to know when to stop and listen to your body. Your body, when your body gets hot, you got to okay, take a breather, like slow it down, stop, drink some water, get in the shade.
Yeah. Well, and we're going to pick up on that again with the Muscle Matters. Abby, any last questions?
Yeah, before we go, I just wanted to know, what is your favorite thing to tell yourself whenever you do have those doubtful moments? Like, is there anything you want to leave with the audience?
You know what? I think of my kids. I just want to show them that they could do anything in life if they put their heart to it. So, like, part of the reason why I work so hard is to show them, like, hey, you can do this too. Not running, but something else. And I want them to know that, like, you have to work hard to get to where you want to be. So a lot of times I do certain things to show them I want to be a good mom to them, you know, so I feel like I have to be a good role model. So
And you can equate running with endurance, and I
Yes.
think that comes back to life, you know, because the Bible says trials come in our life to give us endurance.
yeah.
And I think you know what endurance
Yeah.
is, and so do you, Abby. I got, you know,
I just don't want them quitting. You know what I mean? Like when things get hard, like running is hard. And I mean, there's days it's easy, but there's days like it's harder when you have harder workouts. I just don't want them quitting on life. So I want to show them like, hey, look at your mom. I'm working this hard. I want them to know that they're capable of doing that too. So I try to set a good example.
you have set a good example. Hannah and Ava,
Yeah, they're good kids.
they are good kids. So, Abby, thank you for sitting in on this, and you did a fabulous job.
Thank you.
Thank
you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Christine, thank you again. Thank you for leaving us with a role model here in Bakersfield, and I like it that you're leaving those achievable impressions on your children.
Yeah.
And also on the Greyhound runners and squad runners. So
Yes.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Like us, subscribe. Hey, we do it because you guys watch. You guys have a great day.